You're listening to the 115th edition of the Bitachon podcast. We continue in pasukim in Tehillim that were collated by Reb Zundel Misalant. Ki ata goichi mi baten. Says David HaMelech, or according to some, Esther said this passuk. This is in chapter 22, verse 10. You are the one who took me out of my mother's womb. Mavtichi al shdei imi. You are the one who guaranteed to me that I would have whatever I need as I was suckling from my mother's bosom. So this is a very powerful image. Hashem is taking care of us from the very first moment of our lives. Hashem has given us everything that we need, all the sustenance that we need, whether it's when we're inside of a mother's womb or whether it's when we come out and we're born and we're suckling. Hashem is constantly taking care of us. And it's true from the very first moment of our life. And it continues on throughout our entire life. Excuse me. Somebody who turns to Hashem, somebody who shows Hashem, I trust in you, Hashem will save him. And how does a person have this trust? How does a person know that this is guaranteed? Says the Ibn Ezra, it's guaranteed because Hashem was the one who took me out of the womb. Shein das lanu v'lo kayach. Very interesting. Hashem took us out of the womb when we had no mind. We had no power. We were completely helpless. We don't even remember that period of our lives. I was just looking at my new baby, Kenai Nahara, Yosef Yitzchak, and thinking about how the experiences that he's having now, while they are foundational, and while every time we smile at him, it's powerful, it's good for him, but he won't remember any of it. We don't remember anything from right after we're born. But still, we know that happened. That's the foundation of our life. He brings here on the bottom, Hamagid mi Dubna, Besifrei Sefer Amidus. The Dubna Magid, in his book Sefer Amidus, in the Shar Bitachon, the second chapter, he expanded upon this concept. And he says that something that's newly created, think about it. The world's been around thousands of years. We're in the year 5,783, right? The world's been around it. I don't remember all of that because I wasn't even here. I didn't exist, right? And yet, when a person thinks about the fact that he was created, I didn't request to be created. I didn't know I was being created. It's just the kindness of Hashem. Hashem creates us. He brings us into existence. Whether we are interested or not, Hashem brings us into existence. What is the purpose of our existence? In order to recognize Hashem's greatness, to recognize the kindness of Hashem, that's never ending. It's appropriate that a person trusts in Hashem. When you realize that Hashem brought you into existence, you weren't part of the process. You weren't part of the decision, right? But Hashem wants me to exist. So I don't have to be worried. I don't have to be worried, how am I going to continue to subsist? Where will I get my food from? Where will I get my parnasa from? Hey, Hashem was the one who brought you into existence. He's the one who decided that you weren't part of that decision. Here you are. How did you get here? Hashem brought you here. How will you continue to have existence? Don't worry about it. Hashem's in charge. He's the one who brought you here. He's going to continue to give you existence. It's just like a person didn't know he's going to be coming into existence. He would be created something from nothing. So too now, just step back. Don't worry about the things that it seems are going to give you continued existence. Don't worry about it. Hashem brought you into existence, He's going to give you continued existence. Obviously, if Hashem brought you into existence without your participation, Hashem is going to continue to give you existence, and you don't need to be a participant in that either. Okay, so that's the Dubna Magid, and that's how he's saying Pshat is in the Ibn Ezra. Okay, let's see some more interesting ideas. Says the Yavitz, Hatam lefikach ani kaveh menafshi belibi amunah. Why is it that I have so much faith in Hashem? Right, this is a passuk, a few pasukim later from what we spoke about last week and the week before. We talked about Hashem's kindness. We talked about the Bitachon that we have, the Amunah that we have, the trust. Why? He's explaining why. Because I know about something. You took me out of my mother's womb. Says, I'm sorry, it's not the Yavitz, it's the Ra bin Ramuch, maybe Rabbi Avram ben Ramuch. You took me out of my mother's womb. Now, when does a fruit fall from the tree? The fruit falls from the tree when it's completely ripe, when it's completely ripened. It falls on its own. The expression of the fact that Hashem, you took me out of my mother's womb. What does it express? It expresses the fact that you knew when it was the ripe time, the correct time, the time was ripe for me to be born into the world, to come out of that dark place, to come out of that place. And what did you prepare for me? You prepared for me this very special and precious mother's milk, which is very fine, exactly appropriate, exactly perfectly custom, tailor-made for me at that tender age. Vizoraya, right? I can't provide for myself. There has to be somebody to provide for me. I'm a baby. I don't have the ability to acquire my sustenance. Vizoraya she'elu ha'pu'ulos mipoel shalim. So what does this show? This shows that the way that I come into the world, the way that Hashem brings me into the world, shows that I was created perfectly by a creator who does things perfectly, who cares about me, who gives me a tailor-made existence. That's why he says, you're the one who took me out from my mother's womb. And Hashem says, David HaMelech, Hashem is the one who guarantees to me. Right? It's like it's giving us this kind of perception or this kind of feeling. A baby comes out of its mother, it's like, wow, I didn't have to do anything. I just got whatever my mother was eating, I also got sustenance from. As it were, Hashem is promising. Hashem has promised me. Don't worry about it. I have prepared for you everything that you need. You come out of your mother's womb and you think, oh my goodness, where will it come from? I lost that connection where the food was coming in. Where's it going to come from? Relax. Hashem says, relax. Everything is ready for you. And it's ready in just the right measure for your weak state, your helpless state. Don't worry about it. It's going to be good. Everything is going to be fine. All right, let's see the Radak. We'll see a few more interesting, beautiful things. The Radak says, there's something unique about us. It must be that Hashem will save us. Why is it that Hashem will save us? It's because we recognize. This is a powerful foundation of how Bitachon works, perhaps we could say. Bitachon says the Radak, works because I recognize that Hashem has provided for me. Hashem has taken care of me. Hashem has given me what I need. Because of the fact that I thank Hashem, we recognize and we know that the power is yours. The power that we have comes from you. Excuse me. You, Hashem, you guarantee a baby, a child, who is receiving the milk from his mother's bosom. You promise that child. You take care of that child. There's a promise your needs will be taken care of. There's a promise. What's the promise? That you, the child, you need not worry. Right now, you're dependent on others. But you're going to get stronger and stronger. And eventually, you won't need anyone to help you and provide for you your sustenance. Right now, you're dependent upon your mother. But don't worry. Ultimately, you're going to have what you need. We recognize this. We recognize that just as it was then, so too it is throughout our lives. This is an incredibly great wisdom. Like we saw before, that everything is precisely prepared. Hashem has programmed reality in such a way that we will see the hashgach, we will see Hashem took care of me then. Hashem's going to take care of me now. Right? This is just the way that things are so beautifully aligned, so beautifully prepared for the person after they come out of their mother's womb. They're going to have all of their needs. They're going to grow. They're going to have that sustenance. This proves that there's nothing that's just b'mikra. It's not just evolution and it just happened and da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum. It's not how, this is not possible. This must have been created. And just like we recognize that you, Hashem, created this whole system in order to provide for us, we recognize and we thank you and we know that you, just as you prepared this tshuah, this salvation for us when we were so small, you continue to prepare salvation for us. He brings here Eitz Hadas Tov l'Rebbe Chaim Vital. Ki ata hagoychi mibaten hakavanu lemer ki royu shetakal tefilasi. What is the idea here? Says Reb Chaim Vital. He says, it's appropriate that you should answer my prayers. Kolei sheshgachas sheshgachta alei b'chol prati. You have taken care of me. You have watched over me. There was divine providence in every moment of my life, in every detail. When I was inside of my mother, took care of me then. That's what it means. The first part of the verse. You prepared for me food for when I come out of my mother's womb. That's the mother's milk. Even though, as we just said in the Radak, Chaim Vital points this out as well, that this is the nature of the world. I'm not like the fools who don't recognize that it's Hashem who provides everything for me. Because I recognize that everything that happened in my life is your kindness, Hashem. Everything that happened is your kindness. Because who is motivating you, Hashem? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to create me. You don't have to provide for me. Right? I'm sorry, the passuk here that he's quoting is saying, there's nothing that I deserve. There's nothing that I deserve. I can't earn Hashem's love or Hashem's sustaining me. Because everything is kindness. Everything is Hashem's love. So I recognize that everything that's going on in my life, it was an incredible providence. Every blessing that I say in the morning is in order to recognize Right? I say, thank you, Hashem, for opening my eyes so I can see. Thank you, Hashem, for helping me be able to get out of bed. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me strength, even though I was sleeping and I'm tired. Thank you, Hashem, for renewing my strength. Thank you, Hashem. We constantly are going over these gifts that Hashem gives us. This is in order to recognize that all of my matters, even though it looks natural, no, it's not natural. There's no nature. There's nothing natural. Everything is from the one above. Every one of us needs to recognize this. That's why King David says, I was dependent upon you from the womb. It's not natural. I don't ascribe what's going on in my life from the moment that I was fashioned inside of my mother's womb until this very day. I don't ascribe anything to nature, to happenstance, to this is the way the world rolls. No! It's all you. It's all your divine providence. It's all your word. It's all your direct involvement in my life. And just like you gave me the food I need in this world, so too, in the womb of my mother, you are my God. Just like you helped me then, I ask of you now to answer my prayers as well. Now he brings here on the bottom the first mention of Esther. These psukim, according to the different Meforshim, are speaking from the vantage point of Esther Hamalka. In another place, there's an explanation as far as Esther and her request. Where she says, I recognize that you're helping me. I recognize that you're saving me. I recognize that you've given me so much good. Answer me now. Answer me now in my prayer now. This recognition, Esther's recognition that Hashem is taking care of her, began way back from the beginning of her existence, as far back as she could remember. Don't think that it's just now that I'm having trust in you, Hashem, because I'm in trouble. Right? It's kind of, when I have nowhere else to turn, it's easier to have Bitachon in Hashem. There are no atheists in foxholes. There's nowhere else to turn. If I'm in mortal danger, it's much easier to have Bitachon. But Esther says, don't think that it's because I'm in mortal danger that I'm turning to you now, Hashem. No. It's not true. The moment I was born, I recognized that you were the one who brought me out of my mother's womb. She was saying, I had this recognition from a young age, the moment I was born. Maybe in thinking about that, it's not clear. It almost sounds like she understood it even as a baby. Maybe it could also be that she's saying, I recognize that afterwards. That you took care of me the moment I was born and you gave me the mother's milk that I needed in order to survive. I trusted in you from that, I trusted in you way back when I already had everything that I needed. You were the one who caused the milk to form inside of my mother. Certainly if I understood that it was you back then, certainly now that I've gone through life and I've had experiences, answer my prayers, because I recognize that it's only you who can help me and save me now. So there's a reinforcement here, a constant reinforcement. How do I strengthen my bitachon? Again, it's by looking back and saying, Hashem always took care of me. Hashem took care of me from the very moment that I came into existence. He gave me existence. I'm still around, aren't I? That means that He wants me to continue to exist, and I need not be afraid, and I can be assured that I will be answered, my prayers will be answered. And I want to share with you one last thing from the Shari Chaim, which is really quite such a chizik. I'm sorry, okay, I'm going to skip a few lines here. What happens? A baby comes out. As we saw earlier, baby comes out. The baby is attached to its mother. It has all of its needs provided for through its belly button, through this connection to its mother. One source, clear parnasa, everything you need. You don't need to do anything. Right? So it seems like I'm losing my parnasa. Look, they're detaching me from my mother. How will I survive? But it's the very detachment. As soon as all of the pieces come out, the baby is born, the baby is detached from its mother, immediately, like clockwork, the whole system sets up. The mother starts to be able to be manic, to nurse her child. The system is ready to go. It's a mashal. It's an incredible analogy for us to think about and realize. If a person sees that something happened to his parnasa, person sees, you know what, people are not buying music anymore. It's over. People are not, but they're just listening and streaming, and you get a fifth of a penny, a third of a penny per stream. You can get 1 million streams and not make back the cost of the production of the song. It seems like you lost it. Don't be upset. Or don't be so upset. Don't worry about it. It looks like you're disconnected from the previous source of your income, of your parnasa, of your sustenance. But you need to understand and recognize and believe that there's a much greater source of parnasa that's about to come your way. Instead of having one source of income, now you can have 2 sources of income. What's the one source? It's the umbilical cord. It's a single source of sustenance. But now there are 2 sources. The mother has 2 places where the milk comes out. So there's a double parnasa that comes as a result of the first parnasa being cut off. Just like when it comes inside the mother, the baby's inside of the mother, he's sustained by a single source. He gets double. So now there's 2 sources for his sustenance. This is what the previous passuk is referring to. Turn to Hashem. Hashem is going to save you. He's going to prove that He cares about you. I can figure it out. It looks like something's going on. I'm losing something. It looks like I'm losing that job. But Hashem has something better for you. When I'm born, I lose that sustenance as it was before. But He promises me that I'm going to have double sustenance now. PPO's parnasa. Now I'm going to have double the amount of livelihood. There's a much greater sustenance that Hashem is preparing for me. And I need to be detached from the previous source in order to get the new source. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next time.